Okay. Students, I'll just wait for 5 to 10 minutes and we will start the session. Actually, the session starts at 5 o'clock. Just to have a basic introduction and all, I have just started the session to check the connections and all. Meanwhile, we have launched a channel called Civil Engineering Tab, E-Tab. The name of the channel is Civil Engineering E-Tab. You can follow us at YouTube link www.youtube.com channel and Facebook link, or these are the links: YouTube channel, Facebook link, Twitter link and Instagram link. These are the links provided where you can follow our channel. And coming to the next point, what I want to tell you is, please like our channel or share our channel and subscribe. It's my kind request to like, share and subscribe our channel. Now coming to the students, good morning or good evening students. Today first I will like to introduce why we have started this channel, or what is the motto of this channel is. The motto of this channel is to educate and train the students in the latest technologies of civil engineering and make them competitively fit for GATE, ESE, SSC JE, PSU and all the other state level exams. And one more thing what I will follow is, my kind of teaching is to make the session or to make the subject in a crisp and a short and easiest way to learn. Okay, this is the first thing I want to tell you. Now students, when coming to the civil engineering subject, most people have these kind of questions in their mind. So what I have planned is, I will be uploading a videos of 10 minutes on each of these questions. So please be patient. Once I upload these videos, you can start looking at those videos. Okay. The first question everyone as a civil engineer will have is, what is the role of civil engineering in real-time industry and day-to-day life? And second one I want to tell you is, what are the opportunities of civil engineering? Now, the third point I would like to add is, after your +2, you don't have any idea about engineering. Why you have to choose civil engineering? I will be explaining I will be uploading a video on this. And also, which college you want to select based on your GATE score, or what are the opportunities if you learn GATE or if you study GATE coaching, what are the opportunities you have? All these things I'll be doing in a separate video and I will be uploading in my channel. Next one I want to tell you is how to qualify for GATE within 100 hours of my teaching. So these are the things which I want to tell you. Okay. So now I am going to start the subject. What is geotech. Now the subject which I want to teach today is geotechnology or geotechnical engineering. Now coming to geotech, what are the parts in geotech we have? Actually, geotech is classified into two things, students. One is soil mechanics and other one is soil mechanics and other one is foundation engineering. Geotech consists of two parts. One is soil mechanics, other one is foundation part. Okay. Now, what is the weightage of geotech? Weightage of geotech subject in GATE is 12 to 14 marks. The weightage of geotech in GATE exam is 12 to 14 marks. Sometimes in some years it might be 10 marks also. In the some years it might be 14 marks also. What are the standard reference books? What are the standard reference books for geotechnical engineering, you might ask me. The standard reference books for geotechnical engineering are the standard reference books for geotechnical engineering is, one is B.C. Punmiya. The first author is B.C. Punmiya, and this is the famous author where usually every student usually follows. Next one is Arora, and the third one I will follow is Gopal Ranjan. These are the three standard books you can follow for geotech as your reference. And one more thing, students, when I am explaining the subject, you need not to write or take a screenshot of the video. Why? Because I will provide this entire thing, whatever I have discussed in today's class, I will provide a link for you. In that link, there will be a notes. That notes will be in PDF format where you can download the notes and you can get. So no need to write anything. Just keep on listening. Okay. Now coming to what do you mean by geotech? The first question everyone asks is, why do people want to study about geotech? What is geotech is, it studies about earth materials. It studies about the soil or earth materials. It studies about the earth materials and how they behave. It studies about the earth materials, that is soil, and how they behave. So this is the point I want to tell you. So whenever you are learning some subject, geotech, why you want to learn that subject is, you have to understand that point. Okay. It studies about the earth material and how they behave. Now see, students, in agriculture, suppose if I can tell you, when in agriculture, how do soil is defined is, which is the best soil for cultivation. Similarly, coming to soil mechanics topic, suppose in a structure there are various structural elements. Whatever the load which is falling on the slab, has to be transferred to the beam. From beam, the load will be transferred to the column, and from the column it will be transferred to the foundation. So this is called a load transfer mechanism. We usually call it as, whatever the load which is falling on slab, it will be transferred to the beam and then to the column and then to the foundation. Now where this foundation is resting, tell me students. This foundation is resting on the soil. So that is the reason. So the entire soil will take the entire load of the structure. So we have to understand the soil behavior. So based on different boundary conditions and based on different loading condition, how the soil will behave, that is an important point we are going to learn in this subject. Okay. Now see, again I will start with the first chapter. See students, I will start with the first chapter is properties of soil. This is a very important chapter, students. This is a very important chapter, properties of soil. So I am going to the directly into the subject, that is properties of soil. In this chapter you can expect 2 marks question from this chapter. Okay. Now coming to the properties of this soil. Now same again question you will ask me, students. Why you are learning properties of soil, you will ask me. Why you are learning properties of soil means, to understand the behavior of the soil you require some parameters. What are those parameters? Are nothing but the properties. Now when you start with the properties of the soil, the first question everyone will ask me is, how do you represent soil? How do you represent a soil? And remember student, a soil is a complex material or a matrix material. How do you represent a soil? This is the first question which everyone will be asking me question. Students, this here, for this, how do soils are represented? We have a small diagram. Okay students, how do you represent a soil? For this we have a small diagram here. That is, if I take here this as the total volume of the soil, if I take this as total volume of the soil as V, and this portion is known as solids, and see students, there is another portion called this portion is known as voids. So this is called volume of voids, we represent it as, and this portion is known as volume of solids. Here what are these voids, I will tell you. What can be the void, students? One can be air and other can be water. So we represent this as VA and we represent this as VW. Okay students, so here total volume, will be represented as what, students? Total volume will be represented as volume of voids plus volume of solids. See students, again I am writing here, what is VV? Is nothing but volume of voids. What is VS? Volume of solids. What is VA? Volume of air. What is VW? Volume of water. So here students, volume of voids can be represented as, can I write it as volume of air plus volume of water from the diagram and volume of solids. So total volume can be represented as what, students? Total volume is represented as volume of air plus volume of water plus volume of solids. Am I clear, students? So how many constituents are there, students? Can you tell me how many constituents are there? How many constituents are there, students? Here there are 3 constituents. 1, 2 and 3 constituents are there. So soil can be represented in what phase system is? 3-phase system. So soil can be represented as 3-phase system. Next. Now there are 2 conditions, students. There are 2 conditions here. 1 second, student. There are 2 conditions. One is fully saturated condition and other one is fully dry condition. People who are not aware what do you mean by saturation, fully saturation means voids are completely filled with that water. Voids are completely filled with what, sir? Voids are completely filled with the water. Next thing what I want to tell you is what do you mean by fully dried state? Fully dry state means voids are completely filled with air. So can I write that in fully saturated volume of air is equal to 0, and because it is entirely filled with water, so volume of voids can be written as volume of voids is equal to volume of water. Similarly, in fully dry condition, volume of water will be 0, and here volume of air is equal to volume of voids. Volume of voids is equal to volume of water here, and here volume of air is equal to volume of voids. So if I take total volume now, total volume is written as volume of voids plus volume of solids. But here volume of voids can be represented as volume of water plus volume of solids in fully saturated, and in fully dried condition it is written as volume of air plus volume of solids is equal to total volume. Now see students, please keep it as a note. Now I will summarize every previous gate question as a note here, students. The note, what is the note point I want to tell you is soil can be represented as, there was a previous gate question, soil can be represented as 3-phase system, 2-phase system, both A and B, none of the above. So the answer can be written as here is soil can be represented as both 3-phase system. Soil can be represented as both 3-phase system as well as 2-phase system, So please students, when I tell you note, that can be a previous gate question or it can be asked in the SSC JE or in the state level competitive exams of civil engineering. Am I clear, students? Next point I want to discuss here is very important point, that is void ratio. Now the point I want to write here is void ratio. When I tell you about void ratio, now you will ask me the first question, sir, why I am learning void ratio? Why I am learning void ratio? Can you tell me why I am teaching void ratio, or what is the significance of void ratio? Is it relates how porous is the soil. Means to know the porousness, porous means spacing. It relates how porous is the soil. Why you want to learn about void ratio is it relates how porous is the soil. So this is the point which I want to tell you. This is the point which you are going to learn in the void ratio concept. Now what do you mean by void ratio? Void ratio is represented by E. So void ratio is equal to volume of, is defined as the ratio of volume of voids to the volume of solids. Void ratio is defined as volume of voids to the volume of solids, or simply if you wrote in a numerical notation, VV upon Vs. Okay, so void ratio can be written as E is equal to volume of voids by volume of solids. Now coming to the next point I want to tell you here is, what is the range of a void ratio? This is also a previous gate question as well as competitive question. What is the range, you will ask me. When you are asking about range of void ratio, here you should be very clear in one thing, students. When I am talking about range of void ratio, the point I want to mention here is, if you consider whole numbers, whole numbers will vary from where? Whole numbers varies from 0 to 1. Similarly, natural numbers, if you ask, they are from 1 to infinity. So this is how you will ask me. Now coming to the range of void ratio, I will tell you E is greater than 0. Something, a value greater than 0. Why it can't be 0? That is the question you will ask me. So for that I will tell you, practically if you take any material, a soil or any material, definitely there will be some voids. You cannot have any material with 0 voids. So it is impossible to have void ratio as 0. As of now, your void ratio is greater than 0. Now when it can be greater than 1? Numerically if you see here, when will be the void ratio will be greater than 1? Simply is when volume of voids is greater than volume of solids. In that case void ratio will be greater than 1. When that case arises is, if you take in water bodies or in lakes or wherever the water bodies, means water will be more than soil. That water is indirectly telling about the voids. So this is a very important thing which I want to tell you here. So that is the reason the range of void ratio is always greater than 0. Now another important point I want to write here, void ratio of fine grained particles. And one more thing, students, what is fine grained and what is coarse grained, I will be telling in the next coming chapters. Void ratio of fine grained is always greater than void ratio of coarse grained. Void ratio of fine grained is always greater than void ratio of coarse grained. This is the question you will ask me. Why void ratio of fine grained is always greater than coarse grained? For this I will tell you a small example. Students, you might be aware of this thing. I will take one beaker. I'll take all are having same volume. Suppose it is independent of volume, but still if you take one beaker of 1 kg of rice, if I take here 1 kg of rice, now this 1 kg if you floored, powder volume will be more, right? Or whenever you observe, if you are not aware, students, you talk to your mom, when after flooring the rice, that powder will be more than the actual rice content. In that case what will happen is, 1 kg of rice volume is less than powder volume. 1 kg of rice volume is less than powder volume. So in that case what will happen is, powder you take it as fine grain. And rice you take it as coarse grain. One more thing I will tell you, students, in fine grained, number of spaces or number of voids will be more in fine grain, whereas in coarse grain number of voids will be less, but the size of the void will be more. So this is the one. And one more thing, students, whenever you are having any doubts, I will give you at the end of the session, I will give you 10 to 15 minutes to clarify your doubts. Okay, or if you post any doubt in the comment after the completion of the class, I will reply to that comment. Okay. Now coming to the next point which I want to tell you here is porosity. Next point I want to tell you is porosity. Now again you will ask me, what do you mean by porosity? Porosity, why you want to learn about porosity? It is a very good measure how much the ground can hold the water. Suppose if you take a ground, how much the ground can hold the water, that you can know using the porosity. Am I clear, students? Why do you want to learn about porosity is, it is a good measure how much the ground can hold the water, and porosity is given by the formula N is equal to, it is denoted, porosity is denoted by N, students. N is equal to volume of voids to the, porosity is given by the formula N is equal to volume of voids to the total volume. So what do you mean by N? N is nothing but the notation given for porosity. So here N is written as volume of voids to the total, sorry, here it is not total voids, it is total volume. You can, a small correction, volume of voids to the total volume. Suppose here N is written as volume of voids to the total volume. And remember, students, total volume is written as VV plus Vs. What is total volume, students? Total volume is written as volume of voids plus volume of solids. Now if you see students, if I take volume of solids common here, it is Vs into 1 plus Vv upon Vs. Now see students, what do you mean by Vv by Vs? What do you mean by Vv by Vs? Vv by Vs is nothing but E. So N can be written as, V can be written as Vs into 1 plus E. So total volume can be written as Vs into 1 plus E. Now see students here, total volume is written as Vs into 1 plus E. So porosity N can be written as Vv by Vs into 1 plus E. Now what do you mean by Vv by Vs, students? Now what do you mean by Vv by Vs? Vv by Vs, Vv by Vs is nothing but E. So N is equal to E upon 1 plus E. So here what I want to tell you here is, N is written as porosity, N is written as E upon 1 plus E. So they can ask you what is the relationship between porosity and void ratio. Porosity is written as N is equal to E upon 1 plus E. Now see students, what is the range of porosity is, what is the range of porosity of N is 0, N less than 1. Why it is less than 1? You can ask me. It is a simple thing. Numerator is less than denominator. When numerator is less than denominator, students, when numerator is less than denominator, it is definitely, it will be less than 1. So this is the range. So these are very important things in a SSC JEE kind of things or state level exams. Okay. Now coming to the next topic. Students, I hope you are enjoying the sessions. In the comment section, if I am fast or anything, or if you want to reduce the speed or anything, you are always feel free to ask me. But remember students, please subscribe the channel once. Okay. The only investment you have to do while listening this class is please subscribe. That subscription is also just a boost up for me to take some more classes and make myself more interactive with the students. Next point what I want to tell you here is air content. Next point of which I want to tell you is air content. Now, what do you mean by air content? You might have asked me. Here, air content is nothing but what is air content will tell you is how much amount of air is, or how much amount of volume of air is present in total voids. So, air content is given by volume of air upon, air content is given by the formula volume of air upon volume of voids. So, air content is given by the formula volume of air to the volume of voids. So, this is the formula for air content. Now, what is its significance means how much volume of air is present in volume of voids. Now, see students, if it is a fully saturated condition, here we have different conditions, right? If it is a fully saturated condition, in fully saturated condition, remember students, volume of water is 0. Volume of water is 0. Sorry, volume of water is volume of voids. Here volume of, because what do you mean by saturation? Saturation means entirely it is filled with water. So volume of water will be volume of voids, and here volume of air will be 0. In this case, what will be the air content? Air content will be 0. Similarly, if I take fully dry soil, students, if I take fully dry soil, in the fully dry soil, what will happen? Can you tell me? Is here the condition is volume of air will be equal to volume of voids. That means entire soil volume or entire voids volume is filled with air, students. When entire volume of the voids is filled with air, then volume of air will be equal to volume of voids and volume of water will be 0. So, in this case, air content will be equal to 1. Why I have told this is the range of air content is equal to 0 less than or equal to. In the previous case, there is no equal to concepts. So, please underline this. Okay. The range of air content is 0 less than or equal to air content less than or equal to 1. So, this is the one which you have to be keep in mind. Now, coming to the next point I want to tell you is degree of saturation. Degree of saturation. The next, which is one which I want to explain the definition, is degree of saturation. Coming to the degree of saturation, it is represented by, degree of saturation is represented by SR. Remember students, degree of saturation is represented as SR, and it is defined as volume of water to the volume of voids. Degree of saturation is defined as volume of water to the volume of voids. So, degree of saturation is defined as this formula. Now, see similarly students, from this condition, in fully saturated, volume of water is equal to volume of voids. So, in this case, SR will equal to 1 in fully saturated and SR is equal to 0 in a dry state. So, it will be vice versa. Whatever you observed in air content condition, that relations will be vice versa in degree of saturation. And here the range of degree of saturation will be also same, that is 0. Degree of saturation is also same, that is 0 less than or equal to SR less than or equal to 1. So, this is the range of degree of saturation. Am I clear students? I hope everyone is clear. Any kind of doubts, at the end of the session I will be clearing you all the doubts. Okay. And one more thing students, in the condition of plants, if it is fully saturated students, that is also a dangerous sign for a plant beings, because over excess of water also leads to the failure of crops. So, in prospect of the crops I am telling you. Am I clear students? Next point which I want to tell you here is, now we are done. See, one more thing, air content plus degree of saturation. See, these relations will be asked in the problems, And one more thing students, related to previous year gate questions, I will be uploading the videos. Those will not be live. Related to previous year gate questions, after the videos I will be uploading all the previous year gate questions day by day. So what do you mean by air content plus degree of saturation is, air content is given by the formula volume of air to the volume of voids, and degree of saturation is given by the formula volume of water to the volume of voids. So what do you mean by volume of air plus volume of water from the diagram? This is nothing but volume of voids. So volume of voids upon volume of voids is equal to 1. So air content plus degree of saturation is 1. And one more thing students, if anyone asks you in percentages, you have to just multiply with 100. Okay, you have to just multiply with 100. Next is the very interesting topic, that is water content. The next topic which I want to discuss is water content. I am going to discuss about the water content. Now what do you mean by water content is, you can ask me, what is the definition of water content? Water content is defined as the weight of water to the weight of solids. Water content is defined as weight of water to the weight of solids. Or you can write it as W suffix W, W upon S. So this is the formula for weight of water or weight of solids. So this is the formula for water content. Water content is given by what formula? Weight of water to the weight of solids. Now again you will ask me this question, what is the range of water content? What is the range of water content if you ask me students? Here it is simple. Here when you consider dry state, what will be the water content? It will be 0. So here the range of water content is greater than or equal to 0. If you see in void ratio, there is no concept of equal to, but here in the range of water content it can be equal to also is there. Now you can ask me when it can be greater than 0. Suppose if I have taken a water bottle, in a water bottle if 3/4 is water and 1/4 is soil, in that case what will happen? Weight of water will be more than weight of soil. In that case, can't it be greater than 1? So this is how the range of water content is defined. Now we have different tests to determine water content students. There are almost 6 to 7, but in gate point of view and in competitive environment, we have the most important 2 tests. Okay, in practical point of view you can learn all those tests, but in gate point of view and the competitive test, we have only the best 2 tests. One is oven drying method. We have 2 tests to determine water content. First one is oven drying method, and the second one we have is, one is oven drying method and second one we have is calcium carbide method. And these 2 methods are important, hence I want to explain them elaborately. Okay, first I will start with the oven drying method. Now what do you mean by oven drying method? Okay, in oven drying method, the first point I want to tell you here is, it is the most accurate method. This is the competitive question they can ask you. Oven drying method, which of the following is the most accurate method? It is the most accurate method to determine the water content. Which is the most accurate method to determine water content? The most accurate method is nothing but the oven drying method. In oven drying method, in the name itself, what is the temperature maintained is 105 degrees to 110 degrees centigrade is maintained. Temperature maintained is 105 degrees to 110 degrees. You will ask me why. Now see students, sir, why can't it be 130? Why can't it be 150? Why can't it be 60? Like that questions will be asking. See students, what is the boiling point of water? It is 100. So it should be more than 100. And one more thing, why it is 110 is, after seeing the practical observation, if it is more than 110 degrees, whatever the soil it is, a soil will have self properties. Those self properties will be lost if it is overheated. So this is the temperature which they observed using practicality. So here the temperature maintained in oven is how much? 105 to 110 degrees centigrade. Now how the process or how the test is determined? Suppose first I will measure the weight of soil. What is W is weight of soil. Now once you take the weight of soil, you keep that weight of soil or soil weight in a oven. In a oven at a temperature of how much? 105 to 110 degrees centigrade. Once you maintain this temperature after some time, and now you will ask me, what is the time it has to be maintained? The time it has to be maintained in the oven is 24 hours. How much time it has to be maintained? 24 hours. So after removing from oven drying, after removing the soil, once it is heated or ovened, that weight we will take it as WD. Why it is considered as WD is, once you have heated, all the water will be lost. Not water, I should say, whatever the water content means, it will be lost, or weight of water will not be there. So what is WD is nothing but weight of dry soil. What is WD? WD is nothing but weight of dry soil. Now if you ask me what is weight of water, weight of water is nothing but, can I write total weight minus dry weight? See students, first I have measured the weight as W. I have kept in a oven. Now I have removed that soil and weighed it, and I have made it as WD. Why I have made it as WD dry weight? Because why I have made it is WD, because it is, here you have to understand that a dry soil will not have any water. So this is the weight of water. Now coming next one we have is, anyhow this is nothing but weight of solids also, because weight of soil can be written as weight of solids, because weight of dry soil or weight of dry soil is nothing but WD. Sorry, I should not say weight of the soil as weight of solids. Here W is weight of. Now what will be the water content formula? What will be the formula for water content? The formula for water content is weight of water upon weight of solids. So what is the formula for weight of water? It is nothing but W minus WD. And what is the weight of solids? It is nothing but weight of dry soil. So I can write it as W minus WD. So water content is given by the formula W minus WD upon WD. This is the formula which I want to explain you. See students, this is first point in oven drying. It is the most accurate method. The temperature is 105 to 110 degrees centigrade. Okay. Now some of the student comes to me and ask me, sir, he will ask me, what is the question is, sir, why you are maintaining 24 hours? I cannot go to the site and wait for 24 hours. It might be accurate, but I cannot wait for 24 hours to do this test. Then comes a very important test. That test name is calcium carbide method. That test name is what? Calcium. That is known as calcium carbide method. Now in calcium carbide method, why you have studying about calcium carbide method is, remember students, it is the quickest method. Remember students, calcium carbide method is the quickest method, because you told it is taking, oven drying might be accurate, but it is very late, it is taking 24 hours. So calcium carbide method is the quickest method and it takes only 5 to 10 minutes. How much time it will take? It will take 5 to 10 minutes. And another question you can ask me now, sir, how the water content is measured in calcium carbide method? So for these students, here I have a small thing. Calcium carbide is represented as CaC2. Calcium carbide is represented as CaC2. When it reacts with water, it forms calcium hydroxide and C2H2. Okay, no need to go in detail of the chemistry behind it, but the reaction, at least the reaction, what is happening when calcium is mixed, carbide is mixed with water, it forms a reaction calcium hydroxide and acetylene. Now based on amount of acetylene gas released, based on the amount of, what is C2H2 is an acetylene gas, they can ask you, this was a previous gate question students, in calcium carbide method, what is the gas released in calcium carbide method? This was the question asked. So the question asked is, what is the gas released in calcium carbide method is, the answer is acetylene, and you can write on what basis you are going to tell the water content is, based on the amount of gas released. Based on the amount of gas released, we are going to tell about the water content. So these are the two methods which are the important methods which we are going to discuss. The next thing what I want to tell you here is, the next point which I want to tell you is unit weights. We have a concept called unit weights or unit weights. Why you want to learn about unit weights is, for a definite volume, if you consider some volume in a definite way, means if you consider a soil in earth, what is the volume? Volume is not definite there, it is infinite. So for a definite volume, to determine some parameters, we are discussing about the unit weights. In that unit weights, the first one which I want to discuss is known as bulk unit weight of soil. First one which I want to tell you is bulk unit weight of soil. Bulk unit weight of soil. And remember students, bulk unit weight of soil is represented as what? How it is represented is, bulk unit weight of soil is represented as gamma is equal to weight by total volume. Weight by total volume. So gamma is equal to weight of water plus weight of solids. Total weight is weight of water plus weight of solids upon weight of air. But see students, here weight of air is negligible. Here weight of air is negligible. That is the reason if you see gamma formula, they will write as weight of water upon V. What is V? W is, you can write it as total weight of soil. Gamma is defined as total weight of soil. And what is capital V students? Capital V is defined as total volume. Total weight of soil divided by total volume is defined as gamma or bulk unit weight of the soil. Am I clear students? Okay. Next, here see students, the next one is saturated unit weight of the soil. Next one is saturated unit weight of soil. In the name itself, when I tell you about saturated unit weight of soil, in the name itself, gamma sat is defined as weight of water plus weight of solids upon total volume. Why weight of air is not there? Saturated means weight of air will be 0. Now see students, please see clearly. See, I will tell you students some doubts which when I am studying in my engineering, I used to have lot of doubts on some things. So that whatever the topics which I am having doubts when I am studying, those doubts I will be telling you explicitly. See student, here the formula is also weight of water plus weight of solids by total volume, and here also the formula is weight of water plus weight of solids by total volume. Then what is the difference? You are telling one has bulk unit weight and another one is saturated unit weight. Now what is the difference? The difference comes here students in volume. In bulk unit weight, volume is written as volume of air plus volume of water plus volume of solids. Whereas in saturated condensed state, when you consider in a saturated state, there is no concept of, in a saturated state, there is no concept of volume of air. Volume of air will be 0. Here total volume is written as volume of water plus volume of solid. See students, here volume of water is written as volume of water plus volume of solids. Am I clear students? Here there is another concept called volume of air. So that is the reason to distinguish. This is how we have to distinguish. Even though the numerator is same in both the cases, in bulk state there will be volume of air, but in saturated state there will not be any volume of air. The next point which I want to tell you here is the dry unit weight. Next point we have to discuss here is dry unit weight. Dry unit weight. Now see students, dry unit weight is given by the formula, or it is denoted by gamma D. Okay, dry unit weight is denoted as gamma D. In this case, dry unit weight is defined as the formula. What is the formula, you can ask me? Dry unit weight is equal to, what is the formula for dry unit weight? Anyone, can you stand? It is defined as weight of soil by total volume. In the name itself, dry means what students? Weight of water will be 0. So this is the formula for gamma D. Now one more point which I want to stress here is, actually in practical, if you take bulk weight will only become gamma sat. But when in saturated condition, based on the conditions, only the gamma will changes. When you tell saturated means voids are completely filled with water. When voids are completely filled with water, gamma will be changed as gamma sat and gamma will be changed as gamma D based on dry state. When the condition is saturated state, it is gamma sat. When it is dry state, it is gamma D. So these are the things which I want to tell you. Next one we have is the unit weight of solids. Next one we have is the unit weight of solids. Before moving to unit weight of solids, I just want to show you what are the links that are there with our team. Please like, share and subscribe our channel Civil Engineering ETAP. See, this will boost up our confidence of our team, so that we can, there is nothing other than that. If you, this is a kind of like mindset. If you like, share and subscribe, there are more and more students who are watching and these videos. So it will create some enthusiasm in the teacher's point of view, and we will try to upload more and more videos. The next thing what I want to is, you can catch us at these links, and these links will be provided, and still we have not uploaded what is about the YouTube channel. We will be uploading that. And students, whoever is listening these videos, please share to the respective civil engineering students. Once they can enjoy the real essence of civil engineering. So that is our motto. Coming to the unit weight of solids. Coming to unit weight of solids. What do you mean by unit weight of solids is? Unit weight of solids is represented by the formula gamma S. Gamma S is given by the formula as weight of solids. Gamma S is defined as weight of solids to the volume of solids. What is gamma S represented? Gamma S is represented as weight of solids upon volume of solids. So this is the formula. Okay, so can I write it as gamma S is equal to Ws upon Vs. What is Ws? Weight of solids. And what is Vs? Now this is very important, students, which is the point which you can write it as a note or whatever. For a given soil, gamma S is constant. For any type of soil, if you take that soil, gamma S is constant. How you will ask me? This is the question you can ask me. Why it is constant, sir? Why it is constant here is, I will tell you simple thing. One student here. When you take volume consists of volume of solids and volume of voids. See students, here there is no concept of voids. See, voids either increase or decrease. Voids decreases when compaction. When you do compaction, air will decrease. In that case, water may increase. In consolidation, void. When you do some operations, there will be change in only the volume of voids, but volume of solids is always constant. Similarly, weight of soil is also constant. Suppose if you take 1 kg of soil, it will not become 2 kg, right, students? So here weight of soil is constant and volume of soil is constant. So please keep it as a note. For a given soil, gamma S is constant. Next one which I want to tell you here is unit weight of water. Students, you need not to write anything while I am teaching the class. I will be providing a link in PDF or Word format. You can just download that notes and you try to concentrate on the topics when you are going live. Here in unit weight of water, how unit weight of water is defined? Unit weight of water is nothing but gamma W. Unit weight of water is defined as gamma W is equal to, what is unit weight? Gamma W is given as weight of water to the weight of solids. So you can write gamma W is equal to weight of water to the weight of, sorry, here it is not weight of solids. Extremely sorry, because it will become water content. Extremely sorry, students. Gamma W is weight of water by volume of water. So here please write it as volume of water. Gamma W is written as weight of water to the volume of water. Am I clear, students? Okay, now see students, gamma W is given as, these are the standards. Here also weight of water is standard and volume of water is standard. So in this case, gamma W is, standard units are 1 gram per cc or 9 point. You have to remember this question, this point, students, because these values will help you in solving the problems. Gamma W is equal to 1 gram per cc or 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube, and another one is 1 ton per meter cube. These are the values which you have to be standardly remembering this. Next thing what I want to tell you here is, after listening unit weight of water, okay, the next one we have is the submerged unit weight. In the name itself, what is the condition of the soil, students? In the name itself, it is submerged. In the name itself, it is submerged. So first we are taking it as submerged unit weight. The first point which I want to tell you here is the submerged unit weight. Now what do you mean by submerged? See, a submarine came. Why it is called a submarine? Because it is completely immersed in the water. Similarly, what is the submerged case? Now one thing you can ask me, students, a water having voids completely with water is different. That is saturated. A soil completely submerged in water is different. See, Now if I take this as a soil sample, students, what is this condition of the soil? Tell me, students, what is the condition of this soil? The condition of this soil is gamma saturated. The condition of the soil is gamma. So always remember, students, the weight will act downwards and there will be a buoyancy force acting through this, and that buoyancy force is nothing but the unit weight of water. So submerged unit weight is represented by gamma dash. According to the Archimedes principle, gamma dash, from the Archimedes principle, gamma dash can be written as gamma sat minus gamma w. Very, very important, students. They can ask you. This was a competitive question also asked. Submerged unit weight is based on which principle? Submerged unit weight is based on Archimedes principle. Very, very important, students. This is a APPSC question in Andhra Pradesh, and also in Telangana we have observed this question 2 times. So submerged unit weight is based on which principle? Is gamma Archimedes principle. Is it clear, students? If the fast is anything, if students, if you are having, if you feel that this is fast or anything, you can please let me know, so that I will reduce the speed. And see, students, in the first video, please feel free to write anything on the comment section, so that I can improve my videos and I can improve the quality of the videos, and also I will be slow, or you can give all the inputs to make this session as lively as well as also as interactive as we can. And one more thing I want to tell you here, students, there was another important point. Suppose if you take this is also another thing, this is also Archimedes. Suppose if a ball is immersed in water, if a ball is immersed in a water, how much the volume is occupied by the ball, that much water will be displaced. So that is also another important. So volume of water displaced. See, these, students, applications are very important. When you are solving a problem, these kinds of things are very important. So here volume of water, how much volume of water will be displaced, will be equal to the volume occupied by the soil. I am taking it as a ball, you can make it as a soil. How much volume is, so they will make some cock and bull story there. A soil of a round ball is immersed in water, like that they can make some story. So in that case, in practical solving problems, volume of water displaced is equal to volume occupied by the soil will be equal to the volume of water displaced. Please write in the other way. Instead of x is equal to y, write it as y is equal to x, something like that. Volume occupied by the soil is equal to volume of water displaced, so that it will help you. Now see, students, these are the unit weights of soil. First one is bulk unit weight, next one is saturated, in saturated condition, next one is dry unit weight, the next one is unit weight of solids, next one is unit weight of water, and next one is the submerged unit weight. So with this we are done with the unit weights of the soil. There was a small problem, students, in a competitive environment. I am solving a small problem just as a first day. I want to solve one simple problem. After the completion of the chapter, all the previous gate questions will be uploaded in the YouTube channel, students. So I don't want to solve any previous gate questions in the live class. I'll be uploading all the previous gate questions in the YouTube channel day by day. Now the problem here is, as the first day class, I want to take one single problem. It is a very basic problem. If anyone is civil engineering student, for all the if air occupies, suppose if the question is, if air occupies 1/3 of water, sorry, if air occupies 1/3 of total volume, comma, water occupies if air occupies 1/3 of water total volume, water occupies 1/6 of total volume, calculate E and N. What do you mean by E and N? Means those are nothing but void ratio and porosity. So here see, students, void ratio is defined as what, students? Volume of voids by volume of solids, and porosity is defined as volume of voids to the total volume. So these are the two relations we have. As it is a straightforward question, I am doing somewhat fast. So volume of voids can be written as volume of air plus volume of water. So 1/3 V plus 1/6 of V will gives rise to half of the volume, half of total volume. And you know total volume is equal to VV plus Vs. Now you know VV is equal to how much, students? From the above equation, half V. From this, Vs can be written as half V. So E is equal to half V upon half V, that is equal to 1. So void ratio is equal to 1, and porosity is written as half V upon total V. Because volume of voids is written as half V. I am doing it very fastly because it is as simple as if you know the basics. So porosity is half, and from this you can be very clear. And with this I am done for the first day class session. And as part of this session, see students, I have not introduced myself in the starting of the class. This is myself is Sandeep Adari. I have pursued BTech from JNTU Hyderabad and MTech from NITK Surathkal. My gate rank is 192 students. I have been teaching from past 10 years in the field of gate coaching. Especially I teach geotech, RCC and surveying, which we call geomatics. And we have another team like Yashwant. We have is an qualified for IES, but unfortunately he could not crack the interview, and he will be taking some part. And we have some of my juniors like Sanjeev and Madhu and some team. We have not finalized, but Yashwant will be joining with me. I will be sharing these topics, and Yashwant will be taking some more topics. So, and one more thing, students, with God's grace or anything, it's just a motto to start this YouTube channel. And why I have started means as a pandemic issue, I got an idea. I am thinking from lot of days to start this channel, but somehow I could not connect it. And one more thing, students, I would like to thank my JNTU junior Vani. She has prepared all the logos and all these things, students. And one more thing, students, your alumni should be very strong so that it will help you in every way. She is a student who is studying now final year, and I have passed out 10 years back, and she helped me in doing all this. So always a strong teamwork will help you to reach the wider audience. And my motto here is to reach the rural background also, rural parts, but there are some issues with network and all. So I will be uploading these videos and you can download this. And the only request from my end, from my bottom of my heart, is all the college principals and all the staff of civil engineering, please promote our channel. And as a student, you please subscribe our channel so that it gives a immense value. What that a small subscribe and a small like will give me a immense means it's a kind of boosting for our team, so that we'll be catching more and more videos, and we'll be showing some enthusiasm in uploading these videos. Thank you one and all who have joined this session and make this as a first day. I would like to thank God, my parents and all my relatives, and who has supported me in this starting this channel. Thank you. With this I am going to end the session.